A very special thank you to everybody who tunes in to the Justin Podcast. And I also want to give a special thanks to all my sponsors.
Hi, Tom Bodette. Apparently, the hip thing for businesses to do these days is target millennials. So it may sound sus coming from this baby boomer, but Motel 6 is a V-great place for your squad to stay woke or asleep. The updated rooms are hashtag blessed with contemporary floors, bedding, and flat screen TVs that are totally on fleek. Plus, their prices are always low AF. I'm Tom Bodette, and we'll keep it lit for you.
He's considered to be the greatest announcer in XTV history. And now, Justin Turkeyleg brings his famous voice along with his awesome friends to the podcast world. This is Justin's Podcast.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Justin's Podcast. Today is April the 7th. That's right. You know what that means? That means that today is the day that Worlds Collide will be recorded. I got bumped. I was going to be the announcer, but it just so happens that they chose Terry Williams, and for good reason. And they chose Terry Williams because they wanted to have that authenticity of NXTV and not XTV. And I think that's a good call. We try very hard to differentiate XTV from NXTV. We want them to be so different and nothing like the other at all. I think that XTV is a more raw, just smash mouth right at you, type of thing. And NXTV has more structure. You know what I mean? And I think that the voices of XTV should be the voices of XTV, and the voices of NXT should be the voices of NXTV, given that Terry is aboard the XTV train, and he's going to be partnering with me doing color commentary down the line for XTV events. I think they're going to keep JJ Strong down there at NXTV. I think it's good for him. I'm a fan of JJ. And I think he takes a while to grow on people. But yeah, man, exciting time. It's also WrestleMania weekend, ladies and gentlemen. I checked out the WWE Hall of Fame last night, and great stuff, man. Great speeches. My how times have changed. I had a moment watching Bill Goldberg, take his walk to the stage. Thinking about the fact that 20 years ago, I was watching this man on cable television, and now he going into the Hall of Fame, and I'm watching, at the comfort of my own desk here, with the luxury of the WWE Network, and it's just it's something, man. It just makes you think about the times and where we going and where we've been. It's just something to think about. It's quite an adventure. It's quite the roller coaster. Everybody I've been talking to in life has just been, just kind of going on this wild ride, and it can be frustrating at times. I can say that. Things don't go your way. It don't turn out how you want it to. But all I can say is, man, hold on tight. Because it gets wilder before it gets smoother. But you just got to keep on riding, guys. That's what we doing here, man. I'm bringing you part 2 of, I sound like slick, Pile Driver the Wrestling Album 2. That's a throwback right there. But, yeah, I'm talking to Yosie Johnson, my good friend. She is back for the second edition, the second part of our podcast. I was really happy to get this done. We talk about some great stuff. Yosie, she really goes in. I think this is a little bit different from when we first got together. But we talking about like her '05 run, and the Day of Reckoning era. We talk about her feud with Nicki Minaj. You know what I mean? And where that stemmed from, and where it went. So a whole lot of good stuff coming up here with Yosi. Uh, we sat down for about maybe an hour or so, and it was good. It was good. A couple things on my mind this week, ladies and gentlemen. Bob Classic and The Killer have gotten their time extended for reasons that are uncertain. Now, a couple of people are saying things like their time got extended for their disruptive behavior. Apparently, they behind bars and they've gotten worse. Apparently, they beat each other up all the time. They always fighting, and it's just chaos in there amongst these gentlemen. And they time have gotten extended to July the 3rd. Yeah, so they were supposed to be getting out in just a few days, April the 10th. But it's been stated, and Commissioner Terry Williams has made it official. Yeah, that he made an official statement that those two men will be lingering around in jail for their misbehavior or whatever they call it, for being delinquent. Being a delinquent, is that what it is? You don't know. So yeah, man, that's unfortunate for them, I guess. Of course, Bob Classic has duty though. He has announcer duty. He has a task. Very interesting. Listen, Bob reminds me of those rappers that be putting out albums, and they still in jail. I don't know how he does it. He's still able to announce and stuff. Killer he be on the phone all day. He be on Skype. It's amazing the privileges that these guys have. But they are away from XTV, and XTV is not the same without having Bob and Killer around. It's just it's just different. Not being able to put them in matches, not having them on programming. Like I think the last time we saw Bob or Killer was XTV '03, and they haven't been on none of the East meets West. It's just crazy. But these guys are main eventers. These guys are main event stars. They probably they arguably the biggest stars in XTV today, and we don't have them. But I think that they're. I feel like the reason that they are the biggest stars is also the reason why they in jail. And it was funny to me. I was watching the latest in XTV, and it was a match with Bob Classic versus Charles Dean, and in the match, Big Trunks D-Matic actually calls before it even happened, he calls the fact that Bob is about to hit the referee, and it was just so funny to me. And it was just like, man, like this guy really does. He really does have a temper tantrum. I always knew that about Bob, and it's like he gets away with it too. You know what I mean? Like, he beats the referees up, and they don't disqualify him immediately. They just keep on going on with the match. It's crazy to me. As I mentioned, Worlds Collide. We getting together to call these matches for Worlds Collide here tonight. It's a very interesting thing how Worlds Collide was put together. I give you guys a little bit of insight. Is J&W Boss actually did 4 matches. He did 3 matches in the main event, and we did 3 matches. We both agreed on this. He actually proposed to us, what would you like to, what matches would you like? And, we chose our 3. And, he went on and assumed the main event there. And I got to be honest. I got to put this out there. I don't know how this thing is going to turn out. Now we played our 3 matches. I know about our 3, and I know who went over. I'll just go ahead and tell you. For XTV, we did Jackie Briggs versus Angelina. We did Johnny Money versus Jay Morgan, and we did Tyrone Andre versus Austin Wallace, which left J&W Boss with Reaper versus Kevon, Akira versus Cassidy, and British Airways taking on Wolfpack, and of course that main event. And man, I don't know that as far as that main event, the main event is what you came for. It's the draw. It's the reason that this whole thing happened in the first place. You remember me and J and W Boss talking back on my podcast, probably back in maybe November or so, maybe October. You remember that interview, and none of this had happened. The only thing that had happened was that the NW or the AOA members showed up on XTV, and then on Onslaught, I believe it was. Yeah, it was Onslaught. On the next week, King Kong shows up on AOA TV, and that's what had happened up to that point. And since then, ladies and gentlemen, see, we had not even talked. I don't think we talked about Worlds Collide, or maybe we did. I'm not sure. But the point is that since then, this whole thing has been brewing up. We in April. I'm talking about that was way in November. And you see that? You see that? That is how a storyline is done. Now, given the fact that, okay, there was some bye weeks, you know what I mean? Different things like that. However, the momentum continued to carry on. I feel like there were no continuity issues. There was different things introduced, like Monster becoming a part of the NWN, and just everything that played out, it has led up to this. And again, I don't know what's going to happen. All I know about is the finishes that XTV was involved with. That's all I know about it. So there you go. A lot of people excited about it. I'm excited about it. You know what I mean? Like that, I'm completely happy with the fact that I'm not going to be announcing, because that means that I get to sit back as a fan. I'm probably be in the front row. And you know what? Nah, I ain't gonna. I'm gonna hide somewhere or something. I'm gonna sit in the crowd somewhere. I might go into the skybox or something. Because I wanna be able to enjoy this in peace. You know what I'm saying? And I wanna just see everything unfold. This is gonna be great. Worlds Collide, probably the biggest pay-per-view in NXTV history, and we are here in the weekend of. I can go on about this, but I know you guys want to hear from Yosi, and she coming right up. Again, I want to say it's WrestleMania weekend too, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we got NXT, so it's a busy weekend to say the least. And then it's like back to normal on Monday. After WrestleMania Sunday, which is gonna be like what, 7 hours long? Like, oh my God. So yeah, man, it's a busy weekend, and it's all for the fans. It's a good time to be a wrestling fan. I've always been a wrestling fan. I love it, and I loved watching Mark Henry's speech last night. He really made me smile, man. Goldberg too, man. If you haven't watched the Hall of Fame, it's worth it to check it out, cause man. It's some touching moments, and it's just that, like, I've been a wrestling fan for so long that, seeing Mark Henry and seeing these guys express they love for wrestling, even on a deeper level than me, I'll admit, because they in it, and it's very special. So with that being said, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut over to Yosi after this here break. SeatGeek is a ticket search engine that makes finding tickets to live entertainment a cinch. They search dozens of the biggest ticket sites and present the results all in one place. You get the most bang for your dollar. Their deal score system analyzes thousands of ticket listings and rates the best bargains. The higher the deal score, the better the value. Go on SeatGeek.com to find out more about local concerts, artists, live events, or anything pertaining to the arena, where you can get the most out of your dollar and get the best possible seat for what you can afford. Go to SeatGeek.com right now. Oh, RJ, you got something to say? Well, that's SeatGeek.com, everybody. I'm hungry now. I'm sure you can hear my stomach growling down for me here. So,
Justin's podcast.
oh man, we rolling sound, ladies and gentlemen. Sitting up here with Yosie Johnson. Hey, it's early in the morning, 10:38 a.m. And we finally able to get back together. Okay, you don't want to took all long. I work, okay? I work. He do work, y'all. He works so much. Okay. Like, I done slowed down in my little bitty careers, but you is just still going, Justin. A man of many hats. I'm not trying to brag or nothing, but definitely got a lot going on. A whole lot of people that require my time. But today we talking about Yosie. And speaking of people that may require your time, I want to know about your relationship, with your family. Of course, we know about 90% being your brother, and Owana is your mom. I highly suggest that you go and check out the XTV West Side. Type in XTV West Side on YouTube and subscribe to their channel because they also have great content. And Owana is one of my favorite podcasts, to listen to over there. And just seeing just how wild she is and how wild 90 is, and you pretty wild yourself, Yosie. I mean, just go into family life with them. You know what? You'll be surprised, but as much as we love each other, we stopped having a family life back in the 90s, probably I don't know, mid 90s. Whenever I went, and did my NWN thing or Amen Nation things, whatever you want to call it, that's when I was outsized, and Flamingo, we used to call him that at the time, but now he 90s. But he was the same way. We just really wasn't really together. I mean, we love each other and we come together with little family gatherings and stuff. When people in the family, throw something together, or it's like a holidays, or unfortunately like a funeral, stuff like that. But we ain't really that close. But we'll show enough fight for each other's. And I love my moms and my brothers. Because, we mentioned before that, 90 did teach you how to fight. That's what I'm saying. He used to just, every day, that used to just be our things. He used to just, we used to go in the backyard. And he used to practice with me. And he used to be real rough with me. Throwing me all over the place. And I was like, dang, Flamingos, you way too rough. And everybody used to be saying that. But he was like, this how they going to be for real. So you need to learn how to fight. And, he did mean well. And he was he was real instrumental in just just me understanding what they was doing. You know what I'm saying? It's because him and A-Mans and King Kongs, we said, all of them, they was already fighting and stuff, and that was new for me. So I was a rookie. Even though I had been around all those years, I had never had fought before. So he was real instrumental. And besides that, I just kind of mimicked what I seen on TVs, and just kind of mixed it up. And they was like, girl, you pick up on this fast. And I was quick. Yeah, that's always been, one of the main things about you, Yosie. You're always lightning quick. And, we're going to get into, a time period where you wasn't so quick on your feet. I already know what you're talking about. But, before we talk about that, I wanted to talk about, your sense of fashion, because, I feel like you're one of the people in XTV that, really take out the time to, it's a few people that's very fashionable, but, to me, you stand out as, one of the main ones that's just, always got a different outfit. You always, able to just completely, switch up your look. From your hairstyle to the shoes you wear, and, I've noticed that that you seem to evolve, over the years. with your fashion sense, and like it's gotten more mature. I mean, I remember back in the day, reckoning era, you used to wear like little kitty kind of stuff, but now you like way more mature with it. Can you speak to that? Where you get your fashion sense?
I just always been into clothes, like what I'm saying. Like my sister Michelle's, when I was real little, she was like, oh my gosh, you talking about me? That girl used to be on fleeks, okay, and it was just like, I mean, she was just like always ahead of the game. Like she ain't have like big old '80s hairs, you know what I'm saying? Like back in the days, like she ain't have her hair like that. I mean, at one time she did have a Jerry curls, but it didn't work out for her because they used to always be drying up like poofs. But so yeah, I pretty much get my fashion sense from us because I just remember she taught me how to match stuff. Like she was like, see, this go with this. And one time, like cause I was just a little kid, like I ain't really know about nothing, and like I used to like put stuff together for myself, and she was like, no, this don't go with that, and she made me understand why. She just made me understand like colors and stuff, and like how colors match, and really. You know what I'm saying? That's how me and King Kong had became like real close, cause we used to always go shopping together, cause he like really into clothes and stuff too, and like like shoes and just different stuff like that. So like me and him, we used to always take our time on like doing stuff on Day of Reckoning and stuff. Like that was our thing, is to like try to outdo our last outfit or like try to look cooler and stuff. Like he had those he had like bright color shirts like way before John Cena did, and his stuff was cool. King Kong's.
Yeah, he was a very colorful guy. He always talked about colors and stuff. I like colors, blue, red, stuff like that. I got an interview with King Kong, the original King Kong, ladies and gentlemen, and I think I got to finish it up with him.
You mean like with me?
It was always calling somebody out for something. That's why I love her.
I'm just playing with you.
But speaking of Day of Reckoning, Yosi, I mean, how about that? I mean, you think about it. The Day of Reckoning era, that was like over 10 years ago.
I know. It is so crazy. Like, I mean, we was talking about doggone Warzone and how far back that is. But, I mean, shoot, what's that, like 13 years now? And that was like, at that time, we used to call it the reunion era, y'all. We used to call it the reunion era because for some reasons, like every time you was looking up, it was like a new person coming up. Like, I mean, not a new person, but like somebody from the past that was like real big. And that's when Sus had came back, but it was also new stars that had came out. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's around the time that I probably had got my steam back, because I remember that I was saying on the last podcast that like people had stopped liking me, and like my stats went way down, and I was like a 1 or like a 0 or something. But I think that Day of Reckoning, like I think that rejuvenated me. You know what I mean? And like that's where like a whole lot of people like really got a whole lot of respect for like their in-ring talents, especially Bobby's. Like he was big during that time. I feel like it was me's, it was Bobby's, King Kong's, Payne's, Charles Dean's, Sus, probably even Big Trunks at that time. Like he was a monster. Oh my gosh, he used to like really hurt people. And I was listening to his podcast, and he was talking about that neck breaker that he used to do to y'all. Well, not the y'alls, because you used to fight, but to the boys, I think he used to be able to fight girls on that too.
I'm not sure.
I think you could, yeah, because I done fought some men. I sure did. Yep. I used to fight men's child.
Tad.
Yep. I can't remember who I fought or who I beat, but I probably fought Payne's just because we was both boxers. Yep. I used to be having classics, child.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, we don't have the footage, ladies and gentlemen, but man, I mean, Yosi's got some. We've got some things with Yosi. We got some things, but she did it in SIDE, and then she was able to convert it to XTV, TXG at the time, and it just continues to echo throughout time. I mean, still, you're out there having these blockbuster matches that are just absolutely incredible. And it's just like you've been doing it, the same way since day one. Thank you. No, thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, it's tough. Like, it is. I mean, because it's just like a mental thing. Like, the longer I'm, like, I mean, especially nowadays, it's just like the longer I'm out there, it's just like, should I be doing this? I don't know. Is my time past? Because we talking about like Dead Reckoning, and I'm talking about how I was doing the dance. I'm like, dang, it's like, what more do I have to prove? I'm in the Hall of Fames. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I done had the women's championship. I done had the tag team championships. I done broke records. It's like, guys, what is left to do? I mean, and the only reason why I be in it, and I be hearing so many people say it, is because, like, the fans want it. It's like, the fans don't want us to leave. And we don't want to leave the fans and make them feel like they betrayed us.
Well, I honestly feel like, the time is going to come. It's going to be inevitable. I feel like the answer to that is NXTV. I feel like, once the main roster gets full enough, and they find a way, because I mean they got East meets West, and I think that that's a good thing. I think that that's going to be the platform to get things to take off. I don't know how. I don't know. It's a different thing, and it's supposed to be a completely different thing. But I don't want to go too far into that. I go off into a tangent, but I really think that NXTV is the answer to that, because once guys get up on the main roster, and as new people keep on going into the NXTV system, then that keeps everything moving. And then the legends who like yourself can just kind of bow out gracefully right off into the sunset. If you choose to at that time. Yes, I see what you're saying. I mean, because it is big stars out. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, I think that, I mean, a lot of those girls can, like, really be, like, major stars. You know what I mean? And, like, we can, they the future stars. I think Big Trapper future star, King Combs, I mean, and, like, the NWNs. It just seemed like, I guess that's the new things. It's like, it's crazy. I don't know. Well, I mean, what do you think about, speaking of NWN, like, what do you think about, Baby, because, she is essentially you, from another time period, and I explained it on this podcast, I'm not sure how well I explained it, but, you see, you guys got to understand that at the time, in 1997, all of this was going on, this really did happen. But around about 2011, these guys, the NWN from 1997 came back through the time machine. They ended up here. I don't know why they came here, and I don't know how they ended up here. But a whole gang of them ended up here, and the time machine ended up getting broke from something. And yeah, they ended up getting stuck here, and they can't go back. And now we got two Yozis. Of course, that girl don't call herself Yosi yet because it ain't 05. Which is, another question I would want to ask too. Two-part question. What you think about Baby, and what made you change your name to Yosi? You be so long-winded, Justin. Don't call me out on my own show, please. I'm just saying, but I like it though. Let me say that first I had just started calling my name Yozis because, like, around the time that everybody was turning themselves humans, and if y'all don't know what we're talking about, once upon a time everybody used to be cartoons, and like it was just a weird place. And then, like, I'm just gonna say that in many various different ways, people turn themselves humans. Ain't gonna get too into that because it can get kind of graphics. But yes, I was already human, you know what I'm saying? But instead of making myself name Baby, I evolved myself, and I just thought that Yosi was a good name for me. And I thought that people was gonna call me Josie, but Like, they call me Yosi because I said my name was Yosi. So now everybody say Yosi.
Yep. You trained us to say Yosi.
Except for Bobby's. He the only one that be like Yosi's. I mean, Josies. I can say Josies, but it's like the way I be talking, it just come out Yosies. It feel better. I feel like I have to like use extra effort to say Josies. It's just too much. Okay. And as far as baby goes, I mean she cool. Like she bad. I know that. Like I feel like I don't know what she doing behind the scenes and stuff like that. She probably like smoking, doing drugs and stuff like that, and being ratchet, being fast, being just like how I was.
Yeah, I mean she you, so that's what I'm saying. It's to see that. I mean, have you tried to step in and warn her or anything? I mean, you don't. This don't really happen in life where like yourself come back. I mean, it's you, and it's like yourself come back from another time, and you actually get to say to yourself what you wish you could say to yourself.
But the problem is she won't listen, cause that's how I was. I don't even deal with her. Like I know it sounds bad, but it's like it's like LT saying like they ain't our responsibility because the NWA they the only one that had came back. LT got a I was about to say he got a son. He ain't got no sons, but it's little LTs and he be running around here, and it's the LT from that time, Tavari Howards. For y'all who don't know, because we call him LT on XTBs, but because his name was Lil Travis, and so that's what LT stand for us. That used to be his name on 05, but he had evolved into Tavares. But anyways, yeah, and he got a little one running around here too, and it's like these ain't our kids. That we ain't responsible for them just because it's the same person as us. And you know what I'm saying? They be around here terrorizing and stuff and like harassing people, and they be like, "Get y'all kids," and we were like, "Them ain't our kids, child."
Yeah. It ain't easy being y'all. I mean, y'all already got a full house.
Okay. And they trying to give us moles. That is not my child.
Shoes. Crazy, crazy stuff. Are you a heavy weed smoker? Are your fingertips yellow and burned? Well, don't worry, because I used to have the same problem until I tried Hydro Drops. That's right. Hydro Drops is the best thing ever to come because they have all different forms of formulas, like different sprays so that you don't smell like it, eye drops so that you don't look like it, and different things of that nature. Why, even Terry Williams tried it.
Oh, yeah, I definitely tried the Hydro Drops, guys. And let me tell you one thing. If it hadn't been for this, I might have gotten fired from many jobs, because I like to try to keep my lifestyle very chill. And when you're dealing with people all the time and they try to take you out of your element. So, thank God for Hydro Drops.
Hydro Drops by New Millennium Drugs. Hey, Alec Troffer here, the Troffer of all Troffers, the dirtiest player in the game. And you gotta check out the 006 podcast. Tell them, Nick. Yeah, you definitely have to check out the latest episode because this one's actually the first time that we were ever on the air. Hey, Nick, I told you about that stuff right there. I mean, just get right to it. Yeah, I mean, it's got a whole lot of great things in it, though. Like the first time that Shannon ever said anything, ever appeared, is here. Like different people. You don't forget, Nick. I mean, are you serious? Are you kidding? I'm trying, Dad. I'm trying to get it out. We only have a certain... Listen, man. You got to listen to the 006 podcast. We have great guests, guys, every single week. And he talked about Shannon. Shannon's going to be coming up next, guys. She's the next guest. She's a delight. You're going to love her. That's how you do it, Nick. Check out the 006 podcast. Okay? Like, what am I going to do with you?
Justin's podcast.
Yeah, I think one of the more legendary rivalries that have gone down. You've had a few of them, of course. I would be remiss if I did not mention Naomi and your feud with her. It was probably within the span of maybe a year or so. You know, are you guys good?
I mean, she my dogs. Like we all good. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I feel like after that whole situation, we definitely became tighter. Like, because before that, like we didn't really know each other that good. But now, I mean, like she one of my best friends, and shoot, I'm able to heal and stuff. I was able to heal, and we good. You know what I'm saying?
That's good. I had to throw that in the hat, but what I really wanted to talk about was your feud with Chantel. Oh my gosh, because this became pretty big, and the thing about it is that Chantel has been like what at the time she was a person that I felt like she was just going to be one of the main stars in XTV as far as the West Coast. But we really haven't really seen her that much nowadays.
She just recently came back, still been her same old loud selves. But really, I mean, child, I don't be trying to hold on to grudges. I be trying to move away from grudges. You know what I'm saying? It's later in my careers. I don't be trying to like have no fights, no beefs with nobody. I know that's so hard to do in XTVs, but at the same time, that's how I be trying to live my life, because I mean, I just ain't got time for it. Like you said, I got a family now, and a husband's okay, and it's just like, child, go on with that mess. She was like, at the time, like she tried to like keep our rivalry going. Like she had beat me and stuff, and it's like, okay, beat somebody else. That's what I was thinking. Like, go beat somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Cause and this what you was probably talking about, like when you was like, oh, we gonna talk about, when you wasn't so quick, cause like my feud with Chantel had happened on WWE 2K12, and that game was just like a little bit off, but we still played it and before that we had like 2010, we didn't get 2011 or something, or we probably did get it and we didn't like it, so we didn't play it, and we just played 2010 until 2012 had came out. And on 2012's, like I think I had probably a series of matches with Chantel, but I think that the most known match is the one between me and her at XTV Mania from that year. It was XTV Mania 2K12s, and I had fought her, so I was looking cute in my pings, okay, but I was heavier too. You know what I'm saying? Like I was still able to do my moves, but I was like heavier and I was slower, and I don't know why I couldn't get around that. Really, I mean, looking back, it's like I don't know if I could have made myself faster, or if that's as fast as I can be, and maybe I made myself too heavy, too dicks. Okay.
She didn't say two dicks, ladies and gentlemen. She said too thick.
Justin, you so perversions. Okay.
She trying to say perverted, ladies and gentlemen. I just got to correct it for the audience members that don't know. We're a growing audience, Josie. Your last interview got more hits, than the average podcast.
I'm proud of that. Okay, woo woos. Thank y'all.
Yeah, and, they've been fiending for part 2. But yeah, man. That XTV Mania matchup, definitely a classic. We want to start putting up clips on XTV World to show, everybody like, what it's all about, what has been happening over the past few years, here in XTV. Just little 3-minute clips. We probably ain't gonna put up the whole match, but it's definitely something that we've been thinking about. And that match in particular, definitely got had a whole lot of people talking in the XTV realm.
It did. I think people was talking about my performance and the fact that she had ones. You know what I mean? And they couldn't beat me. I mean, they couldn't believe that she had beat me. And they was like, dang, Yosi, like, you fell off, or like, did you fall off? So it was just like, saying, in that vein, like, people was just talking like that, like, dang, she ain't got it no more. You know what I mean? But I felt like I felt like that was a good performance, like in that matchup at ATV Manias. I thought so. You know what I mean? And then it was just like, okay, good. Like she beat me, and then it was controversial, and it was at XTV Manias, and I thought that was good. You know what I mean? Really I appreciated it, and like, like that's why when I be reacting to stuff, like a lot of people's, and that's what me and LT got in common. It's like when we react to stuff, like people think that we be serious. You know what I'm saying? But we just be going with the storylines. We just season like that, you know what I mean? And we be trying to make it seem real. It's like we want people to feel like dang, like they gonna come to blows or something. So like you know what I'm saying? Like we just put that emotion into it and make people feel it like on that level. Like we don't hold backs. And so people be thinking that we be serious. Like when we be going off and stuff, they be like, you know what I'm saying? Ada put me to the side. She be like, you all right, Yosies? I be like, yeah, girl, sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But that's how I beat those. But and then Chantel's, like at the time, like she kept on like rubbing it in. Like she just like for months and months and months. Like she just kept on saying like, oh I beat you, and I'm like, okay, beat somebody else. Like I think I already said that, but like I got tired of that junks. It was just like, dang. Like she was proud that she had beat me, and I can understand. Okay, I get it. Like you had beat the legends, but it's like beat another legends. Like that's just like what I feel like. Like a lot of people, they just be living like on their old stuff so much, and it's like, if you really want to like Wells, like I mean, like I ain't trying to knock him or nothing, cause I'm a fan of him, but it's just like, cause I was listening to his podcast and he was saying, oh, I had beat Blood, I had beat Dead, and I ain't get my opportunity at the times. But like really what you gotta do to get your opportunities is like you just have to keep doing stuff. And you don't have to, you're not supposed to be looking for like, oh, when I'm gonna get my shot, You just gotta keep going. You know what I'm saying? It's like, cause the cream always rise to the tops. Like that's just the way it is. Like you just gotta keep working and not expect nothing. You know what I mean? You're supposed to do it because you love it. You know what I mean? You're supposed to be at your best because that's what you do. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like a lot of people get it twisted in XTVs. Like they think that, oh, I did this, so I'm supposed to get these accolades that come with it. But it don't work like that. Like you gotta work hard. Like LTs and even Killer Child, like they work for years and they ain't get no recognition. Ain't nobody paying no attention to them. And they just stayed doing what they was doing. They ain't want nothing. They was just doing them. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even like Killer. I can't stand his butts. But like, I mean, at the same time, I can't knock his success and what he did, because he did do that, and he stayed true to what he believes, even though everything that he had, is about mostly is wrongs, and don't even get me started on him.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna ask you about Killer. I just leave him out of the conversation. I can stand his ass. Moving along. If y'all can see the look on Yossi's face right now. Here, take a chill pill.
Yeah, pass me that, Charles.
Oh my God. Big Trunks D-Matic.
Nah, I done forgave him.
Yeah, but I tell you, you guys had it out, and you guys like you just always be at each other's throat. This is another kind of two-part question, because this is during the time that you was commissioner, and so you ran into a bit of a roadblock. Let's just say.
Yes.
And it's just like, take it from that end.
Well, I mean, me becoming commissioner, like they had voted for me. This was like 2014, and oh yeah, that's when we had lost the PlayStation. That's what had happened. Yup, I had just remembered. And like, cause before that, y'all, LT was commissioners, And yep, he was commissioner before me. He was commissioner for 2 terms, just like Martha was. Like 1 year is a term over here, and then but you can only get 2 of them. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it is. And I mean that might get changed one day because like it'd be some good commissioners, but I mean I feel like the commissioners just keep on getting better every year. But anyways, though, back to the stories. So like. Yeah, so LT was commissioner for 2 terms. They had voted for him twice because he was doing all this innovative stuff, and like like when anytime he in the limelight, whether it's in the ring or like behind the scenes, like he just do stuff with XTV that like we never just thought to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what he did as commissioners. So like we used to always talk about stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like at the house and stuff like that, and like. We talked about me becoming commissioners. We was like, yeah, you'll be a good follow-ups. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yeah, that'll be a good idea. So I can come after you. You know what I'm saying? Cause like at the same time, like what I was telling y'all before, like I'm always trying to think of something to do next to take my career like to the next levels. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I dress like that now, Justin, because it's like I have to be like the more mature Yozis. You know what I'm saying? Like, but still be myself though. You know what I'm saying? And so like, I felt like being commissioner was gonna be like the next level for me, and that's where I could take my careers. But then we had lost the PlayStation. Child, like it just had stopped working for some reason. We had some red light of death or something they had said, child. I don't know what the heck. They had that doggone thing in the freezer. They used the blow dryer on it, and they had got it to work one time doing all these weird remedies that they found on the internet. And we had got it to work one time, but then after that, it ain't work no more. It was dead, child. It was like, man, y'all messed me up too bad. Y'all froze me and burned me. They tortured that thing, trying to fix it, child. But then so I was just like, dang. We was back to the dark ages, child. We was back to the 80s, back to when we ain't have no technology, and we had technology for so long. Like in 2009, like that's when we had first like quote unquote went digitals and started doing online contents for XTV. So like that's what we had become used to by like 2013 and into 2014 during my terms. We had got used to that. So then like when that had happened and we lost everything, it was back to the dark ages, and we was like, I ain't know what to do. So we should just do stuff like, cause like what people don't also realize is that XTV always go on. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't never stops. It's always happening. Like stuff always happening. Like how we doing this podcast, it's somebody else doing something somewhere else. Like. And then like we'll get up with like the West Coast later on, and they'll tell us something that done happens. You know what I'm saying? Because stuff just be happening. It just I don't know how to explain it. It's just it's a world, child. And so I don't even know where I was going with that, but anyways, I was just trying to make a way that like since we was back to the dark ages, I was just trying to make it like how I used to be then, like because we used to still have funds. Like we ain't used to need no games, we ain't used to need no computers or nothing like that. We used to still have funds. You know what I'm saying? Just like going back and forth with each others, and like that's what like SIDE radio had became.
Taking a family of 5 to the amusement park can cost a small fortune.
Oh, yeah. So to save some money, we thought, hey, let's bring the amusement park to us.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, step right up, young man. Are you ready to ride the Wacky Waterfall?
That's just the bathtub with the shower head running.
Nope, it's the Wacky Waterfall.
It's the shower, Dad.
Waterfall.
Wacky.
There's an easier way to save. To get a free rate quote, go to geico.com, then buy online, over the phone, or at your local Geico office.
What's up, bro? Brian Mellon with the New Millennium Podcast, and guess who's gonna be coming by? well, I can't really say who's going to be coming by. This is actually an old interview, bro, that I had put out a long time ago, because finally coming to the XTV World Channel is Mortal Kombat, and who better to come by than Cassie Cage and Jackie Briggs, bro. That's right. This is an interview that I kicked with these girls, like when they first ever even came into XTV. I wanted to save it until the movie came out, but it took a whole lot longer than expected. So here we are, bro. We're at the point where Cassie Cage and Jackie Briggs had stopped by, and I'm going to be showing you some insight onto their world, bro, and how they came up, and how they actually ended up here, and actually how they ended up living the lifestyle that they live in the Mortal Kombat realm, bro. So very interesting discussion with both of those two ladies, and it's all right here next time on the New Millennium Podcast.
Justin's Podcast.
But yeah, that's what SIDE Radio had became. It just became like just this crazy banters. A lot like what y'all hear on East Meets West, like, you know what I'm saying? Like when both sides get together, like that's how it always is. And that's how I tried to make it. But at the same time, I had to make rules. You know what I'm saying? I had to make rules. Cause if I ain't make rules, then it would have just been chaos. You know what I'm saying? And I made it like that so I could point out like who the people was that was the real offenders. You know what I'm saying? And like I think even I was in jail one time. Like I had to put myself in jail, or somebody put me in jail, and I was the commissioners. And like I remember like me and LT and Trunks and like I think even you, Justin. Mm-hmm. And like we was all chained together. Like that was our punishment. Like is that we had to be chained to each other. And then, yeah, so it was just like, it was funny, just like, you know, like, imagining how you would have to be in that situation, you know what I'm saying? And like, who you chain next to, and who's standing next to who. And like, if you mad at somebody across from you, and you got to try to kick at them and stuff like that. So like, that's how I was trying to do it. Just make it fun, and just make it different. Like, make you have to think, you know what I'm saying? And just be on your toes. Because we ain't have nothing. And so like Trunks, like he used to be mad at me because I had put him in jail for like a certain thing that he did, which was wrong, you know what I'm saying? But he will feel like, yeah, it's wrong, but I'm supposed to be able to do that because this XTVs, you know what I'm saying? And that's what we do. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm trying to take XTV to the next levels and just like make it more like just have like, you know, give it a little bit more balance, you know what I'm saying? So that it don't be like how it was in 09s. When like everything just got out of control and it was chaos and people was breaking stuff in the house for real, Chaz. And it was just like, you know, then that's when Old Joe and them, and they all had to like all sit together and figure this junk out, because it got out of hand, Chaz. And I ain't wanted to be like Dax. So I had to have some kind of controls. And that's all I was trying to say to Trunks. You know what I'm saying? And then he had talked about like, because he had did this podcast one time. And like I had tried to put up a middle fingers. I did put up a middle finger as the emoji from my phone, but when it had went up on the internet, like it was just like a box, so they didn't know what it was. And then they was like, "What you had put, Yosi?" And then I was like, "A birds." And then he had got hot, but I only had put it like just as a joke, like again, like what I was saying, like I was only playing with the storylines, like I was just like. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause the joke was that like he had said all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? And then like, it was just like, what you got to say in response, Josie? And I just had put up just the middle finger with like no comments. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the joke. Or like I was probably responding to something specific that he had said, or something like that. I don't remember. You know what I'm saying exactly. Like what it was all about. I just remember he was mad because I had put the birds, but like I just remember putting the birds, like, and I was laughing when I had did it, and then he just got heated and he was like, "See, that's what I'm talking about. She always taking stuff out of context." And I was like, oh my God, it's getting worse. And I was just like, I felt like no matter what I did, and then they had voted for me again, Charles. Like I don't remember the timeline when everything had happened, but I remember I had got voted for like twice. I did 2 terms. And then like after both terms, they was like after the first time, they like, we ain't gonna vote for you, Yossi. Then they ended up voting for me. I guess because they had got used to me, and then they had voted for me again, and then it was over. And I think Miss Martha had came after me, or something like that, or maybe somebody had served the term, and then it was Miss Martha's. But yeah, that's how it was though, Charles. Like Trunks hated me. Cause I had put him in jails, and I had put him in jail with like you or something, and you wasn't like that.
Yeah, I got what you was doing. I tried to roll with it, and I just played my part. You know what I mean? Because when I see something escalating, with Trunks, I'm not the one to add fuel to the fire.
I don't blame you. You know what I mean? You stay professionals, and I appreciate you, but it hurt me at the time because like I love Trunks, I consider like y'all two like I don't know like you're like my big brothers, like like my OGs, father figure, like that's like, and just the way he was, it was just like hurtful for it to be coming from him. I was like, no, I don't want to feel with you like this. I want to feel with like somebody else. You supposed to be like OGs.
Yeah, a lot of people try to tell Trunks that, but he just sees it in a different way. But I think he's slowly gonna come around and figure out what everybody's saying. But he is who he is. I heard him talking on one podcast saying that he's just angry and dumb. And that was what his character that's what his character was originally intended to be. And so that's what he has kind of evolved to. And that's why he's always going around saying Trunks is the most ignorant character ever. You know what I mean? It's his way of, it's his way of joking, and I get it. But that could be, the static. It's like, when you take a lizard and a spider and you put them into a box, bad things happen.
Oh my God, Charles. You're right though. I mean, but I just want Trunks to know that I love him, and that I don't have no ill feelings towards him. And our arguments used to get heated, but you know what I mean. It's like we good. Like it ain't nothing. Okay.
Oh man. Moving to more, current times.
Oh my gosh.
You had a feud with Nicki Minaj.
Yep.
How did this come about? And was it a real? Or I mean, what was it a shoot, or what was it just like storyline?
No. Well, at first, I'm gonna tell you like this, Josh. At first, it was a storyline, and there wasn't even no storylines. It was just like, just. We had found her on the downloads that days, and we were so excited because we didn't even know. I think that we had just got like the PlayStation like online. We was able to make it online, so that's when we had found downloads. We had never went to that. We had been playing the game for a couple months, and it was like every time we was playing 2K17s, we was finding new stuffs. Every time we discovered something new, it's like, oh my God, you can do 1 million things on this game. And we had discovered that, and we was just going down all the downloads and seeing all the people that they had created for the first time that looked exactly like the person. We had never seen that. We was like, oh my gosh. It's just like, it's like it add more characters to the game in a ways. You can just download them. and we was just like really surprised with that. So we had downloaded some people, and then they had seen Nicki Minaj, and they was like, "Oh my God, Nicki Minaj!"
Yeah, that was me.
So yeah, they had downloaded her, and it was this big hype about it. Like, yeah, she gonna fight Yosies, and like, so then like we had dropped everybody off to works, and then we had came back, and then we did. I think we just did a one-off. I think we just had that match. You know what I'm saying? Like we had put it up on the East Coast, and it was like, I think that's how it was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Nicki Minaj versus Yosi. Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah, it was just a one match. Yeah, when y'all first fought the first time.
Okay, so anyways, we fought, and then when people started coming out to the rings, I was just like, dang, because it was Tamina's, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh man, they gonna mess it up. But like, really, y'all covered it up, like you and Bobby on commentary, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all made it like, oh my gosh, and y'all like built it up more intense. And then the other girl came out, but then the other girl had hit Mies. And then, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, with just, like, the little underhanded stuff that was happening in the match. Like, she was saying stuff to me. And I'm like, is she playing? Because, like, we ain't talked. Like, we had just seen each other, like, for the first time, like, in the ring. Like, it wasn't no, like, I ain't seen her backstage or nothing like that. And she was just saying shit. And she was just going in, excuse my language. And, you know what I'm saying? Then, like, yeah, both of those girls outside the ring had turned on me. And I'm like, what? It's 3-on-1. They came out here to jump me. And then, like, she had did that thing. I can't remember which match it was, honestly. But I think that's the one where she had pinned me. And then it was just, like, some screwy jump with the controls, like, that you couldn't see on TV. And, like, that's how I lost the first match. I had got pinned. I think so. But she ain't beat me clean. That's why I was mad. I was mad as hell. And that's how it became a shoot. So, like, the next time, you know what I'm saying, when we had fought, it was like, okay, boom. Like, nah, I'm finna get this girl. And then Ada was like, nah, you know how you get her? She said, you just gotta jump her before the match. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I wanted to do, but I had came out first. And then, you know what I'm saying? I was gonna do it anyway. So she come into the ring, and I had hit X, and then, you know what I'm saying? But it was still dark, and I wasn't counting on that, and I ain't know what to do. I could not see nothing, Charles, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't see. And I tried to jump her, but it had backfired on me.
Oh man, it is a good time. Oh,
I couldn't see Charles.
and then yeah, I think they got you saying that on the TV.
I couldn't though. Like, it was pitch black, and I'm sitting up there on the pole, holding to the pole, trying not to fall on nothing, because I ain't know where the steps was or nothing, Charles. So that's what happened then. Yeah, and then I don't think it was no interference, but the referees, like, I'm like, oh my God, she paying off the referee, Charles, like, and she's still talking noise, you know what I mean, saying she better than me. She twerked in my face, like, she just did stuff, like, she oh my gosh, I don't even want to talk about it, because I know kids watch this show, but I'm just saying, like, man, and like, I was hot. That's why I wanted another match. You know what I'm saying? Like, people was like, you already lost twice, Yosi, but like, this girl was trying me. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was trying me, and that's why, like, you know, it's like, yeah, I did my little promos. Yeah, I lost. Okay, but at the same time, I mean, it was a good match, and like, you know what I mean. At the end of it, you know, I think that I earned her respects. You know what I mean? Like, she was different this time, and I don't know what it was, but even though she still had ones, you know, it's respects. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like I told you, like, I don't got time to be holding on to grudges. I meditate, you know what I'm saying? And like people be making fun of me because I be floating and stuff. But Charles, like you need to get that junk off of you. Especially doing what we do, Charles. Like you got to be able to really like make the pendulum swing in the other ways for positives. You know what I mean? Like get your positive energy back because it's a whole lot of people trying to bring you down and hold you down.
Okay.
You so stupid, Justins.
A lot of people have, wanted to know if you are considering, because, there was talks in XTV about, you doing color commentary in NXTV.
I mean, I considered it. It's just, I be back and forth with it. You know what I mean? It's like, I just be like, I don't know if I want to do it, because I don't want to take from the shows. I don't. You know what I mean? I just feel like, it's got like its own sound. And I just don't feel like I'm for NXTVs. You know what I mean? I'll be feeling like that. But at the same time, I could see myself playing a role, but it'll be like something like that. But like I said, again, it's just cause I don't want to be there and take away from it.
How would you take away from it though? I mean, you one of the greats in XTV.
That's what I'm saying though, and it's like I feel like that job should be given to somebody like that's just getting their starts. You know what I mean? Cause I'm already established. I train the girls, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a trainer. I got a class and stuff. I'll be teaching them things.
How was that?
It's great. You know what I'm saying? I get to see all the young girls. You know what I'm saying? And, everybody who coming in news. Yep. It's tight. You know what I mean? Like, I'm hands-on with, like, Jackie Briggs. Like, they was in my first class. You know what I'm saying? Her and Cassie's. Yeah, and Shannon's. They was in my first class. All of them. All of those girls. Pasadena was in my class. That's my girl, dogs. You hear me? That is my girl. She gonna be a star. So watch. That's why I say like a whole lot of them in XTV. I mean in NXTV, like they gonna be up next. Like they gonna be like, and then it's gonna be okay if I'm gone. Cause they gonna hold it down. You gonna see. It's gonna take a while, you know what I'm saying? Cause they still developing and stuff, but it's gonna be like a new XTVs, and that's what Miss Martha Vision was. You know what I'm saying? To just like update it, like just cause that's what it's time for. Like some stuff that's just old. Like look at our roster. Look at our main roster, Charles. Our main roster is so slim, like. And that's why it's hard to do like East meets West every week, cause you'll be saying the same old stuff every week. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to make the card difference. You don't want to see the same people. You know what I mean? But like you gotta work on. You gotta establish people to make them main roster people. And it's like, well, somebody might be like, oh well, we didn't know who you was, and we like yous or whatever's. But it's just because, like, that's because I've been here. Like, I know how to, like, you know what I'm saying? I know how to do this. You know what I'm saying? And it's like a new star can't just come in and just do what I do. They just can't because they don't know. They don't know they self. They don't know who they is. They still figuring it out. So they have to go to Proving Grounds or NXTV to, like, figure out who their character is. And then, you know what I'm saying, they got to develop. You know what I'm saying? And like a lot of, the XTV people, we've been doing this for years, so we can just go and do a show and be live and be put on the spot and be put in situations because we know how to react.
Yeah, you heard it here from the legend, Miss J. Before we get out of here, Yosi, I want to know something. I want to know, what is going to be happening for Yosi in her future. I mean, I think I heard Tavares talk about how, you guys were going to do like do something together, like like a family. You know.
Yeah, I was telling you last time we was gonna do something like Run's house or something like that. Like that'd be cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think we had talked about that off the air or something, but yeah, like I want that's definitely like where I want to go with this. Like maybe a show with me and my families, cause my kids is funnies. You know what I'm saying? And it's like LT want to put doggone TJ in the ring already. I'm like, LT, he is not old enough. Okay, he is 9. Okay, put a doggone 9-year-old on NXT or something like that. He's talking about he talented like I was, and he is fast, but I'm not comfortable with that.
I mean, he got great genes. I mean, the child of Tavara and Yossi, is that interests me.
He is 9. Okay,
I'm just saying. LT started young. You started young. Think about that. Y'all both started as kids. Y'all grew up here. It's something to think about.
I don't know. I'm uncomfortable with it. But that's why I say if we did like a shows and then people could see, like, you know what I'm saying, like the twins and little TJ and us, you know what I'm saying? And then we could bring in like Killer like as a guest star, like, members from Man, just like people who you be seeing in our life, like you might see Bill Hunters, you know what I'm saying? I think that'd be cool.
Yeah. Well, it's always something in the works for XTV World, and people we always talking about what can we do next to make things better. So the possibilities endless, Josie.
Oh, I know, Charles.
My friend, my good friend, I want to thank you so much for sitting down with me, for coming back after such a long time.
You know how we do.
And man, I love you, Yossi.
I love you. Love y'all.
Great catching up with Yossi, man. Every time we get together, it's always fun. We got up pretty early, and we was both a little groggy. You know what I'm saying? I'm still a little off. But, it is what it is, man. Hope you guys hope you guys have a safe weekend, or whenever you listen to this, hope you're being safe. I know that this weekend here, as I spoke of at the top of the show, is WrestleMania weekend. People throwing parties, all kind of things is going on, and it's really lit over there in New Orleans. That's right, I said lit. Yeah, that's right. I know the little young terms, but yeah, man. I just want to tell you guys thank you for tuning in to the show this week. Coming up very soon, I think I got J&W Boss. Is he next? I don't know. I gotta go look at my schedule, but he will be coming back. We will be running down the Worlds Collide show and everything else that has went into this whole thing over the past few weeks and months. In fact, recently I've been talking to him via PlayStation. I had made a mistake the other day and hung up on him because I thought that I was talking to him on the phone, and I wasn't talking to him on the phone. We was talking on the PlayStation Network, and I shut my PlayStation off and I lost the boss. Sorry, my friend. Until next time, I am Ernest Justin Turkey Leg, and thank you for tuning in again, and good night from the sunny state of Florida.